So it's 9 o'clock in the UK time. So good morning to those of you in the UK. Good afternoon to those of you in Japan. 本日はご参加いただきましてありがとうございます。And a very early good morning to those of you in the US. Welcome all to today's inaugural symposium on the future of autophagy, the scientific and socio-economic implications of slowing aging at the Balliol Interdisciplinary Institute. My name is Paul Chen. I'm a general practitioner in Oxford, college doctor for 2 of the colleges at the University of Oxford, and a former cancer immunologist. Together with Professor Denis Noble, we will be co-chairing the symposium today. Firstly, we would like to thank Balliol College for allowing us to hold the symposium as part of the Balliol Interdisciplinary Institute. As an old member of this college myself, it brings me much pleasure to be back at Balliol in this capacity. The Balliol Interdisciplinary Institute cultivates and supports interdisciplinary research in Balliol College, studying the humanities, the social sciences, and the physical and medical sciences. Together, we have many people listening today from various disciplines: graduate students, old members, researchers, clinicians, academics, people from the business and corporate world, and members of the press, and from different countries. So thank you all for taking the time to attend the symposium. Today, we have a fantastic selection of speakers and experts talking about aging from various perspectives. Hopefully there will be a common thread with the talks whereby the ultimate aim will be getting one step closer to finding means reversing or at least halting the aging process, and to share our current thinking in an interdisciplinary fashion. Before we hand over to our speakers, I'll pass you over to Professor Denis Noble for his opening remarks. Denis is no stranger to the Balliol community, as it would be fair to say that he has played a significant role in shaping how Balliol is today. He also needs no introduction to the scientific community, as he is a world-renowned systems biologist, Emeritus Professor of Cardiovascular Physiology, a Fellow of the Royal Society, an Honorary Fellow of the Royal College of Physicians, has been on and is on countless committees and editorial boards, and holds various senior and honorary positions. He's had numerous awards and holds honorary degrees, and I cannot do him justice as his list of achievements just goes on. However, I think there's 2 things that would be worth mentioning here today. One is that he has very close ties to Japan, where he's a visiting fellow at Osaka University and has close relations with the Japanese imperial family. The other is in the context of aging, where he has a true passion for music and is an enthusiastic musician that I suspect has contributed to his youthful mindset, vigor, and his positive outlook on life. So, over to you, Denis.
Well, thank you, Paul, and welcome to the participants from all over the world. One of the big questions is, why should we slow aging? As a medical scientist who's been researching for over 60 years now, I have witnessed a major transformation in the approach to healthcare, both from biological and from economic perspectives. And both of those perspectives will feature in the talks today. 60 years ago, the world was benefiting from the major achievements in medicine that had eliminated many of the scourges that were the causes of premature deaths in previous generations, because antibiotics and immunization created the conditions in which all people in the world could have a high chance of living their full 70 years in non-poetic language. So at that kind of time, just after the Second World War, universal healthcare became a serious option in many advanced countries. And the economic benefits that we now all enjoy in the spectacular growth of standards of living in many countries arise from that fact. People live healthier and therefore more productive lives. Now, with few exceptions, hardly any researchers paid much attention to the biology of aging at that time, since very few survived much beyond the age of 70. No one therefore factored in the costs of aging. On the contrary, at that time, universal healthcare was seen as generating immense economic benefits. And I recall those economic arguments convincing a post-war government in the United Kingdom that they would need to found what we now call the National Health Service. The other major development I've witnessed at first hand is the huge confidence that developed in the 50s and 60s, 70s in the idea that molecular biological discoveries of medical science, beginning with the discovery of DNA and its helical structure, leading eventually to the Human Genome Project, that this would reveal the secret of all the remaining major diseases. And the peak achievement of that project was announced to great fanfares on both sides of the Atlantic during the year 2000. We not only witnessed the full sequencing of a human genome, we witnessed also the boundless enthusiasm accompanying the promise that within 10 or 20 years, those have already gone by now, there would be a conquering, a success over all the remaining diseases. Genetics-inspired new drugs would appear to banish heart attacks, cancer, diabetes, senescence, you name it, many other scourges that were largely untouched by antibiotics and immunization. Sadly, that promise has not been fulfilled. Just one example, the famous United States War on Cancer, launched by President Nixon just 50 years ago, failed in its main objective. Late-stage cancer treatment has not actually greatly prolonged life. In all areas of medicine, the output of new medications has actually plummeted, and the cost of development of each new drug has gone up through the roof. Many billions are now required to carry out research and development on any one new medication. These are the practical reasons why 20 years ago, I switched my focus of research away from work on the heart to asking some very fundamental questions about the nature of biology, because there clearly had to be something wrong about putting all of our faith in genetics. There's nothing wrong with genetics as a discipline. That's not my point. My point is the practical use of it. Now, I think we will actually discover some of this from our opening speaker, particularly relating to the costs of an aging society and how that's going to become our greatest economic challenge. And no country in the world knows this situation more acutely than Japan, which leads the world in longevity statistics. But the rest of the developed nations are fast catching up. It is therefore highly significant that two of our distinguished speakers today, Professor Yoshimori and Dr. Ishido, are from Japan. The lineup is completed with Professor Katja Simon and Leslie Kenny here at Oxford in the United Kingdom, and Dr. Sandra Kaufman in the USA. So we let the seminar begin, and we do so with Professor Andrew Scott from the London Business School. Andrew was educated at Oxford, in fact, at Balliol's neighbor and traditional rival, Trinity College. He has lectured at Oxford, at Harvard, at the London School of Economics, and is now at the London Business School. And he's now recognized as a world-leading expert on the economics of longevity. His recently published book with Linda Grattan, The New Long Life, is already a sensation. So, Andrew, the floor is yours.